Hi everyone, this is Caroline Speaks, the State of Our World, on Sunday, June 28, 2020. So what is it? Let's find out. Well, the coronavirus is still with us. We've lost over 125,000 people in the U.S. to the coronavirus. The number of cases is over 2 million in the U.S. And remember when Trump said that we have 15 cases, it's going to go down to zero, it's going to disappear in the summer, definitely disappear. Well, it hasn't disappeared. 2+ million people have the virus, and 125,000 plus people have passed away from the virus. It's a lot more than zero. When the virus apparently the virus first appeared in China in, some people believe it's back in October of 2019. The Chinese officials, I've read, tried to cover it up, and the doctor who discovered the existence of the virus was never to be heard from again. His fate is unknown. Now, the virus did get to Washington State, and the governor of Washington State took action right away with statewide lockdowns, shelter in place, quarantine, wearing masks and gloves in public, etc. And it wasn't until March of 2020 that Trump finally acknowledged the existence of the virus. New York, California, in addition to Washington State, Oregon, a lot of states had taken action to lock down their states and protect their people, and like testing people. Testing is tricky because there weren't really any tests to use, and states were using whatever tests they could find, and not all tests are created equal. So we never had a national plan, national responsibility for testing everybody, everyone tests positive, you trace their contacts, any of those contacts you trace, test positive, you trace their contacts, and so on. Anyone who tests positive gets quarantined, gets treatment, gets healed. That never happened at a national level. Each state tried to do its best, but the various states that didn't even acknowledge the existence, and then they finally did. They refused to have a statewide lockdown, and then states opened up too early, and the virus surged in various places, not just in the South, but also there were surges in parts of California. So why is this happening? Well, if you, people thought that if you were young and healthy, you were immune from getting this virus. Not true. This virus does not discriminate based on age or health. It goes after anyone it can find. So nothing is going to protect you if you don't try to protect yourself and others. So it's really important to stay home unless you absolutely have to go out, like to the drugstore or to the food store. We have our emergency essential workers and health workers, they have to go out, so we must protect them. We also must protect vulnerable populations, such as migrant workers, farm workers, people in detention centers, prisons, jails, people in nursing homes, retirement homes, assisted living homes, and of course the homeless and Native Americans. They are really suffering from this virus. Kind of fits a pattern from when the explorers, the conquistadors and the colonists came over here and wanted the Native American land, so did what they could to get it. So anyway, they're suffering a similar fate now. All these groups do need a lot of help. This is just in the U.S. what's happening, but it is a worldwide pandemic, and everyone is affected, and depending on what country you live in, depends on how seriously the illness is taken and steps are taken to conquer it and protect the citizens. Like if you're in a country like New Zealand, you're in good shape. If you live in a country like Australia or England, you're not, because those leaders do not take this virus seriously. There's a real need to have a national policy to conquer this virus. It's going to be here for a while. There's no cure. There's no proven treatment. Various treatments have been used to take care of people who get the virus. A lot of people have recovered from the virus, but we don't know the long-term effects the virus has on people. So it's all an unknown. We need to, again, build a stockpile of all kinds of health supplies, equipment, personal protective equipment, medicines, etc., instead of depending on other countries who will manufacture what you need cheaply, and that's what the scenario has been up until now. So we have a lot of work to do, and hopefully it will get done. We also need a national leadership who takes the virus seriously and doesn't say it's a hoax, it's fake news, it's going to go away, we don't need to do anything. We just have to open up the country, keep it open. Doesn't matter how many people get sick and how many die, as long as the economy is strong. And that's been the message from Trump. All he wants to do is get reelected. He's just looking after his bank account and his power. Not a very good sign. So that's the way it is. There was some startling news yesterday that broke by the New York Times, that Russia has been colluding with the Taliban in Afghanistan to kill American and apparently British soldiers. And if they do, they get you get a reward, a financial reward, like a bounty hunters. Okay. And Trump was supposedly told about this in March, and he and Pence, his VP, but they did nothing, and they deny that they were told about this. And it seems like the right-wing media is treating all of this as fake news. Maybe someday the roosters will come home to roost. I think I got that phrase right. So anyway, that's the story. We really have to hold Trump accountable for not keeping Russia from doing what they're doing and trying to kill American soldiers who are in Afghanistan. So, very sad situation, but we will find out what happens and we will conquer this. Alright, maybe now it's time for a little song, okay? Alright. Okay, the song I think I'd like to sing today, this evening, is Friend. This is a song I wrote a while ago. I don't remember all the words, but I will do what I can. Alright? Okay. There's a time in your life when you need to know if you have a friend or not. So won't you open up the door and let me come back home and be your friend again? Will you stand by my side? Will you say you are my friend? This I need to know. I've done a lot of traveling all over this world, and one thing I have learned: there's a time in my life when I need to know if I have a friend or not. I will open up the door and let you come back home and be your friend again. I will stand by your side. I will say you are my friend, and I will be true to you. Okay, that's Friend. Hope you liked it. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening this evening. Hope to see you all back here again tomorrow evening for another meeting with Carol Ann Speaks, The Center for World. And remember, take care of yourself, take care of others, and vote. If you're not registered, get registered. And once you're registered, study the issues, study the candidates, and make sure you vote. Don't let anyone try to keep you from voting. Voting is very important. And in 1920 was when women got the right to vote. So if you're a woman, it's very important that you vote and honor the legacy of all those who fought so hard to give us the right to vote. Okay, don't squander that right. Please do vote. Please pay attention. Okay, now one thing I like to mention again, as I do, is kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Good night. Hope to see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Thank you. Good night.